43 drivers in this field to race 400 miles, 267 laps around this mile-and-a-half track. For 41 of them, nothing at stake today but going to victory lane and the race win. For 2, a head-to-head fight in the final race of the season for the championship. The Ford 400 is underway. In turn 1 on the first lap. Edwards leads lap 1. That's 1 bonus point toward the championship. NASCAR awarding 1 point for any driver that leads a lap and 1 point to the driver that leads the most laps on the day.
Martin Truex didn't make it easy on him, though, in getting that first lap led. He was hung with him right through turns 3 and 4.
Side by side for third. Matt Kenseth in the 17. Kurt Busch in the 22. That's Jeff Gordon in the 24 going for a slide.
It's not taking long. There's one thing about this track, it doesn't have a lot of grip, so you're going to see a lot of sliding around, even right off the bat with good tires. You can see right there, Jeff Gordon kind of doing a slide job through there.
Brad Keselowski in the 2, working on Jeff for 5th position.
See Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that mix. He was extremely fast.
22 car smoking and slow off the pace. That was from 3rd place.
Guys, get ready. We got to go to the garage. Transmission's out of the car. Get it back there, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in a real vulnerable spot right there with all the cars coming. Sound like it was a transmission possibly.
Just hope that there's no fluids coming out of that. He had to ride around right up in the groove in 3 and 4.
NASCAR has spotters stationed all around the racetrack, no doubt looking and checking.
There's a drive shaft, bro. There's something with the gearbox.
That's Kurt as he turns back into the garage.
Yeah, the transmission holds about 2 quarts of fluid, so that smoke to see could be fluid on the track. We don't see a caution though.
So there's the lead, Carl Edwards. Single file back through. Casey Kane in the Ford. Didn't I hear a couple people pick him to win this race just a little bit ago?
Wouldn't surprise any of us that he were able to do that. He's been extremely fast throughout this chase.
Yeah, he was just doing hospitality up here by our booth, and I talked to him just before the race. He said he had a really good car and he had a chance of making it clear the road.
I was pointing out that 88 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., extremely fast yesterday in practice. He was very happy with this race car on the march early.
And Junior showing that he liked that high line around this racetrack. Not familiar with Homestead Miami Speedway or forgotten since last year. Progressive banking. More banking in the high lane than there is in the middle lane than there is in the low lane. And Junior is all the way up by the wall in practice.
See Tony Stewart just now coming into the picture behind Greg Biffle.
Stewart's up to 10th spot now. Remember, he started 15th.
Listen to Tony and them. They were extremely happy as their car in practice got more laps on the tires. They felt like that their car was as good as anybody here after about 15 laps.
How about going 3 wide in turn 1 on lap 1 of a race you got a championship at stake?
He said he wasn't going to hold back any, and he proved that right from the drop of the green flag.
One of the great stories of the season on the move in that 2 car, Brad Keselowski. Came out of nowhere to put himself in championship contention over the fall.
He's trying to take that spot away from Matt Kenseth, who probably has run as well as anybody at every chase race. Certainly doesn't have the finishes to show it, though.
I talked to Matt's crew chief, Jimmy Fennig, this morning down in the garage. He said they changed about everything you could change on that race car. They were not happy with after the final practice earlier in the week. Now, there is a chance of an isolated shower in the forecast for today. 20%, but on the radar, there are a couple out there. And the speedway has been peppered with rain at times throughout the weekend. In fact, the roadways were wet when we got here this morning.
We are in South Florida, surrounded by water here.
Yeah. Might be raining across the street and be dry here. 39, Ryan Newman. 33, Clint Boyer for 11th and 12th spot. Newman, someone who thought he would contend for the championship when this chase started, and just didn't go his way right from the start. Boyer making his last drive For the man who brought him to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Richard Childress. Boyer moving on to Michael Waltrip Racing after today. Moving up and moving back. Junior moving forward in that 88.
Well, it looks like that maybe Matt Kenseth is still going to have to make some adjustments with these changes they made to this race car.
Yeah, he must have had a good qualifying lap, a good setup for a single lap. But right now, put some laps on the tires. Looks like his car's sliding around a little bit too much for him. You see Junior working that high lane. And when that high lane's working at a racetrack, nobody runs it better than Dale Earnhardt Jr.
We've seen him utilize that as well as anyone. As long as he stays calm, you can see him giving himself a little bit of room right there. It just seems that sometimes throughout the race, he may get in a little bit of trouble when he tries to get a little bit of extra, and that's mostly getting into the corner too hard.
And the danger when you slip a little bit when you run in that very high lane.
Not much room for error there.
That wall is right there. It gets you in a hurry. So early in the going, Tony Stewart has moved up to 10th position from 15th starting spot. Carl Edwards leading the race while Kurt Busch already back in the garage. It was just 3 laps into the race when this happened. Dave, thanks. That earlier, and now live, Tony Stewart on pit lane early, Vince.
You see the 14 team of Tony Stewart feverishly working on the front of their car. Stewart has hit something and it has put a big hole in the front of the grill, although Tony indicated he did not recall hitting anything at all, said he didn't feel as though he had hit any debris, but there's a hole about twice the size of a man's fist there in the front. So they're replacing the fencing part of the grill, which they also have to double check and make sure there's no debris inside the grill area as well. Now you see the replacement area, the area that they're going to replace, and now the fenced grill area that's being used to substitute and replace. They've also got to make sure that they get the tape on the new grill just as the previous tape was addressed, so they make sure that aerodynamically they have the same handling car as well. So certainly an issue that Darian Grubb and company, Tony Stewart obviously included, did not expect to have to be dealing with in the early stages of this championship run.
All right, check your water pressure there, bud.
Got 10 pounds.
Okay, 10-4. We got a big hole in the center of the grill. The grill screen's all punched out of it. We got the boys to go in and start working everything up. We'll get it all ready there. Do not come in until we tell you we're ready to.
10-4. I have no idea what that would have been from.
I didn't see it the lap before, so I'm not sure when it happened.
It's probably from that 22 car's transmission failure. When that thing exploded like that, there's a lot of parts and pieces that can come out of that thing. More than likely, that's a piece of an ear that went through that grill. And if they're lucky that they didn't get to the radiator.
I'm not going to do tires until we get one to go, so don't worry about tires. Just get your pressure set. Let's get this thing fixed. I don't want to drive over the screws.
Yeah, the fact that they do have water pressure means that it did not puncture the radiator. That's good news. They want to go ahead and take advantage of this long caution to get this thing fixed.
Yeah, and probably going to be a few laps under the caution for this little rain shower to just evaporate on the warm Florida day now that it's stopped raining.
Yeah, jet dryers out too.
And, well, he's unlucky that he had it to happen, but fortunate that the rain showers came to where they have time to work on this, maybe get it repaired and be as good as new.
It'll be a tough battle for him right now.
Lots of time still to make up ground, though. That's Ryan Newman, 3 deep on the bottom, turn 1.
The junior had ideas that he wanted to go to the lead, but Martin Truex came flying back by to take the second spot back.
Edwards 99, Truex 56 for the lead. Earnhardt Jr. a little wide. He's going to get challenged there on the bottom side of the corner. 42 car, Juan Pablo Montoya, speeding on pit road, had to go to the back of the field. Tony Stewart trying to pick his way through some of the traffic.
Well, what Tony needs to do right now is not be too aggressive trying to get these spots back. Long race, you don't want to do any more damage than what you've already got here. Looks like he is being fairly conservative.
And you just have to keep your eyes wide open right at this point as you try to work through this traffic, especially right after the restart. Cars all packed up together here. A lot of people racing hard.
Sign of some smoke in front of you is going to be a big panic button, right?
Well, he's got a good spotter in Bob Jeffries. Bob does a good job of being able to keep an eye on what's going on up front, plus keep an eye on Tony.
How do you know that?
He was my spotter.
Personal endorsement there. So it's Edwards and Truex, 1 and 2. Earnhardt Jr. third, Newman fourth in that 39. Then for fifth, old five-time Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth. 48 car moving up.
Yeah, we talked about guys that might possibly win this race today. Jimmy Johnson's never won at this racetrack. He'd like to change that here today.
The question asked him by Dave Burns when we talked to him on NASCAR Countdown about the fact that he's come here trying to win a championship the last several years, and if he never really felt like he had the opportunity to race for the win. Well, he's got the opportunity today.
It's hard to believe, and heard him say that he's been down there. It's been since 2003, since he was not here with a chance to win the championship. It's pretty incredible.
Jeff Gordon, 24. Casey Kane, 4. 7th and 8th. Talked to Jeff Gordon's crew chief, Alan Gustafson, this morning. He felt like they had a car that was a potential contender for the win.
It looks like it right now. This car looks really good.
And another guy that a lot of people talked about being a potential contender for the win, trying to get second place for Martin Truex there, is that 88 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I know Dale Earnhardt Jr. would like that outside lane, but I don't believe Truex is going to give it up.
Now you see, Junior, what you fight down there is the track is really flat. You can see you get extremely loose, but this car's handling pretty well right now, Doc.
First real extended green flag run that we've had in the Ford 400 as we're just across 100 miles. Before we hit green flag pit stops, updates on some of the leaders as we go up to speed. Jamie?
Well, Alan, as you documented, the 9 car is down a cylinder. Crew Chief Bob Osborne just told his driver, just keep your head up, be aware of it. And Carl said, what car is that? And they said the 9, so he's keeping that, filing it in the back of his head. Next pit stop, look for more wedge and an air pressure adjustment. Doc?
And behind him, the 4-time champion, Jeff Gordon. He was the fastest Chevy in qualifying. He's the fastest Chevy in the race right now, running second. Jeff says the car, a little tight landing, a little bit loose off. They feel like they might have a good enough car to be in the Hendrick has never won here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Jamie.
Great day so far for Martin Truex Jr. Started on the front row, second, his best start here. His car right now, he says it's pretty darn good. The team has told him, you're the fastest thing out there. Keep doing what you're doing. Look for him to take 4 tires on this next stop.
Behind him, the 88 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 8-time most popular driver. And folks, he thinks they got a great shot to get the victory lane today. On the last pit stop, after the last pit stop, he said the car got very, very loose, very free in, very free off. And even as loose as the car is, he is still very fast, running back in 4th position. Now back behind him in 5th spot is Matt Kenseth, who won here at Homestead Miami back in 2007. Kenseth this morning said the car was terrible in practice, wouldn't do anything, would not respond. They made changes and moved it closer to the Carl Edwards setup. Now Kenseth has a pretty darn good race car. Alan?
Doc, thanks. A couple of early takers in the exchange of green flag pit stops. Mark Martin has just been in. David Reagan is leaving pit road. Paul Menard is in, and you see Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer making stops. Doc?
Kevin Harvick third in the chase points and come on pit road now the last time and put right side tires on it. This time they're going to try to tighten the car up with a little free on entry, a little free on exit air pressure change and track bar. Dave.
Clint Boyer gave up the 9th position. He said the car was too tight in the middle, too loose off. They made adjustments for that, Vince. Well, the 16 of Greg Biffle is in. They had some issues earlier in a long pit stop, had to come back around a second time. Says the car's a little loose off. They're going to go down 1 round on the track bar, 4 tires and fuel. Jamie?
And Brad Keselowski getting the countdown into his pit box, the number 2 car. Says the car is pretty good. They took 2 on the last stop, right sides. Look for 4 this time. As his team watches, waits with a wrench in hand. There will be a chassis adjustment, Vince.
Tony Stewart is in. Stewart says it's just a little bit too tight, so they asked to make an air pressure adjustment. They did that. Also made pulled a piece of tape off the front end as the water pressure was up just a little too high. Doc?
Dale Earnhardt Jr., 4 tires. They make an air pressure adjustment. He said the car was very, very loose, very free. And now they will go and make a chassis adjustment on the left side. Earnhardt Jr., good race car. A little trouble with the left rear tire. A little time wasted there. Vince.
The 4 car of Casey Kane been pretty good, but he says it's just not pivoting through the center nearly good enough. So they're going to put a spring rubber in the left rear
make a chassis adjustment on the right side. It's a 4-tire change and filling it up with Sunoco fuel for Casey Kane. Jamie?
And the 99 is getting his call in all the way down that long drive, all the way into the number 1 pit box. Remember, the race, the championship can be won or lost right here. They must hit their marks. They go to work on the right side. Says he's a little bit free on throttle. They're going to do an air pressure adjustment, and you see the wrench right there, left side, that's wedge. That's what they did last time, and it helped his car come to life as they work on the left side. Hit all the lug nuts. They're solid. 13.1. Doc?
And with Edwards on pit road, Jeff Gordon assumed the lead, and now he is on pit road. They'll make a 4-tire change for Jeff Gordon. Remember, he said he was tight on landing and loose off. They want to go with minor changes. Air pressure only so far, trying to top it off with Sunoco fuel. Gordon away, out of investment.
Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson have not yet pitted in this green flag cycle. When they do, things will cycle back around. There is Kenseth slowing, turn 4, giving up the lead. Doc?
Yeah, Matt Kenseth saying the car a little tightness and a little loose off of the turns. They have led a lap. That's why they wanted to stay out to get the bonus points for leading a lap. Right side chassis adjustment. Crew now scampering so far flawless on the pit stop. You want to be very careful not to make a mistake. Drop a lug nut. Clean the grill. Less than 13.5 seconds from Matt's away.
Jimmy Johnson stayed on the track, lead a lap. Of course, Johnson never finished worse than 5th in the championship. Wants to make sure he finishes this day in the top 5 in points.
He and Kenseth are kind of back over that 5th spot in the points, so
Here we go,
that extra point.
Down the pit road speed limit, 45 miles an hour.
Hammer's on 1 route.
And Jack Knaus calls out the adjustments to the crew, Dave.
The condition was that he was tight in the middle of 3 and 4 only, loose when he's inside of the race cars. And DJ, you called it correctly. And talking to Jack Knaus this morning, he said we are racing for 5th. They entered the day just 2 points ahead of the 17 car of Matt Kenseth. They've been behind him so far. They need to get that car just a little bit better for Jimmy if he's going to meet their goal.
I think he stopped there.
Yeah, rear tire change. It looked like he was a little slow in the right rear, especially.
Another
All your gauges.
Roush Fenway
You're right
Ford.
there. I had both bins open.
David Reagan cautions out. And right to the garage. Marcus Ambrose turned into the garage just before the green flag pit stop started.
That's 2 of those Roush H engines already that have let go.
David Reagan was in 18th position during the cycle of the green flag stops.
Stewart had driven himself all the way back up inside the top 10, 2/10. You can see this 6 car blowing up down the back straightaway. He was able to get down the access road.
Here we go. Carl Edwards with Jeff Gordon alongside him for the restart. Oh, Tony Stewart. Had a little bobble there on that low line. Kyle Busch did a nice job behind him to keep him running over him, it looked like.
I'm not sure Tony got his tires cleaned off really well there. It looked like whenever he drove down the corner, it didn't go where he expected it to.
But everybody got away clean. Look at this, 4 wide.
The situation we had there was a lot of these cars stayed out with the hot tires and had that speedy dry on the track to clean up the mess from that blown engine. And it's really hard to get the tires clean in that situation.
That is
dicey.
Clint Boyer, 34 car, gave up 7 for the pit stop. He was 17th for the restart. That's 5th place, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88, and Matt Kenseth in the 17. Got Ryan Newman right behind him. For a team that's 17, that said their car wasn't very good and they threw everything at it, they must have hit on something.
Yeah, that's why you throw everything at it. Not good. And it looks like they have to.
Well, indeed they have, but they comment a moment ago from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said, guys, we have a vibration and it's getting worse. That was right before the caution team. I thought they could have caught a break. Steve Letarte said, he checked with the crew guys. All the lug nuts were tight, and they said they're going to roll the dice. I said, Steve, what is it? He said, hopefully nothing major. But right now, Dale Jr. tiptoeing early on, and they are rolling the dice, guys, literally on this vibration.
My
That seems like a big chance to take only 90 laps into the race here. The vibration usually doesn't go away.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity for them to come in under that last caution, and they kind of bypassed it. So if they end up having to make a green flag stop, they'll be sorry for that.
Jimmy back to 7th, challenged there and passed by Jimmy Johnson. And now Brad Keselowski after him in the 2.
I saw Johnson did have a little trouble on their green flag pit stop, but looked like the adjustment they made on this car is a good one.
So, look at Junior jumping out of line.
And Tony Stewart around Brad Keselowski. He just up passing a couple cars in that last set of corners. A lot of things going on here. Guys on different tire schedules. Sun beginning to set. Sets at 5:30 Eastern time, about an hour away. There is some overcast now. Track temperature changing. Conditions changing. Drivers, in some cases, finding out by feel at 170-something miles an hour whether their cars are agreeing with these current conditions or not.
Jim's really wrong with his car. He's got a problem.
Yeah, he's not happy with what he's got here right now, and I think he's frustrated maybe that they didn't take the opportunity to pit and make sure that this wasn't a tire issue or something. See Tony take a spot. I'm sure that one was given pretty easy.
From his teammate Ryan Newman, Stewart up to 7th place in the 14. As Tony Stewart has been picking his way back from the back of the pack following his earlier troubles, we caught this on his radio.
Where are we at in this contest?
I don't even know why we qualified. This is a lot more fun to watch.
Hell, a lot more fun to race. Oh yes, this is not over.
He hasn't lost any confidence so far.
Unfortunately, they're not giving any points away today for how many cars you pass, or he'd be way ahead in that game.
Tony Stewart, the highest he's been in the race so far, 7th place.
He's going to find these next spots a little more difficult to take away, and especially when he gets up there and that guy he's battling for the championship. Carl Edwards has set sail all day here.
But you know, in an era of parity, and that, you know, how many racetracks do we talk about where everybody's running the same lap time, right? How many cars has Tony Stewart passed today? He's obviously got a really, really good machine underneath him.
He's got that, and it's fun to watch these drivers that have that and that talent to be able to go. We talk about, we see them slide these cars around, and not everybody can do that, but we're seeing these top guys up there doing it today.
Stewart up to 7th behind Carl Edwards, who has led the most laps so far in this race and continues to lead the Ford 400.
Punch your oil pressure. All the vitals are fine, temps are fine. The throttle feels weird. I don't know if something's in the airbox or caught in the airbox.
5-time. Never won at this track.
Wow.
Clearly not having much luck today. We'll go back upstairs to Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, Nicole, and Jimmy was 5th at the time he slowed. He just made a couple of kind of bold passes in the last 10 laps of this race, and it's never a good sign when the hood goes up.
He said he had some kind of problem with the throttle, too. It sounded like it was on 7 cylinders when it came by here. Almost like we heard some of those Roush Yates engines when they blew up.
Checking, you see pressing down on the plug wires to make sure they're all still attached.
Yeah, that's when you're really hoping it's something that simple.
Well, Jimmy Johnson's race here at Homestead Miami Speedway the last 5 years has ended with him hoisting the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship trophy. We already knew that's not how this one was going to end. He was hoping to at least grab the race win trophy. Not today. There's the lead, 1st to 2nd. Carl Edwards out in front of Jeff Gordon by 1.02 seconds. NASCAR officials keeping an eye on a shower that is visibly closing in on the turns 3 and 4 end of this racetrack. Not a heavy one, but it's out there.
We can see it. We can see it just off the speedway in turn 3 and 4.
Look right at the top of that shower right there. There it is, right across the lens. Caution for rain. Sorry, Dale. Caution for rain. And you got to be careful when you got guys running at 170 and 80 miles an hour when you can literally see the weather coming.
You can see it coming, and you can't put these drivers in that position. These tires have no grooves on them. They are slick, and it only takes a little bit of moisture. This place is slick enough already.
Check it out. Got a rainbow. But see on the left side of the screen here, that's literally, you could see like the curtain of rain racing here in South Florida. Edwards runs up on the back of Harvick, who had to hesitate for a second. Stewart goes flying.
Boy, Stewart's really got these restarts down pat lately. He was ready to go there.
First time he's been in front of this 99 car all day.
Three wide. Denny Hamlin on the move in the 11 car. Edwards and Harvick. Side to side there.
Yeah, a little disagreement over space. Here comes Truex in the middle of the two, trying to separate that.
You can see Carl Edwards' car kicking up sand coming off the corner. You can see the track's not completely clean.
Edwards settles into third. Stewart is second. Jeff Gordon now the leader after the shakeout from the restart.
Well, Tony Stewart would desperately like to get in front and get a lap led, get that bonus point.
You just have a feeling every single point is going to be important in the finish of this one. A lot of discussion coming into the weekend about manufacturer alliances, team alliances, a couple of Chevrolets here, a couple of cars with affiliations with Hendrick Motorsports. Gordon owned by Hendrick, Stewart getting their chassis and engines from Hendrick. Does Gordon pull over and let Tony lead a lap for the bonus point?
I'd be asking anyway.
It never hurts to ask, but I'm sure that Jeff Gordon is going to say, buddy, you got in this on your own, you're going to have to get it.
Like Juan Pablo Montoya, sorry, into the wall off turn 4. See the damage on the right front of that 42 car.
Kind of sums up what their season has been like he talked about in the interview. It's been a struggle.
I'm not sure that Tony Stewart's going to need Jeff Gordon to pull over. Looks like he's going to, well, I don't know, maybe that's exactly what's going on though. Tony ran him down pretty good. That lap. Didn't give it to him, though.
No, he got back to the gas awfully hard to be letting him try to lead a lap. I think it's just a matter that Tony's car is really good here.
Stewart trying the lower lane, Gordon running the higher lane. While they run this way, let's go back and give you another look at what happened to Juan Pablo Montoya, who was running 10th at the time.
Oh, man, he really got out of shape. Ooh. Hit the concrete part of that wall.
Brad Keselowski right behind him in that blue 2 car.
Yeah, did a nice job of checking up, and that happens. It's tough to miss that.
42 is on pit road. Edwards looking for second on Stewart. All right, so now Carl's got Tony in his sights. Tony knows Carl's right behind him. How much does the mind start to play here, and how difficult is it as a driver, if you're Carl, for example, to be patient as you come up on Stewart?
Well, I think you have to continue to be that. We've said there's a lot of racing left to go. But the one thing that Carl Edwards knows, we see Tony Stewart dive to the inside. He's going to try to make this pass. Don't know if he's got enough momentum to get off the corner.
Oh, wow, that's tight.
Man, that's a
see how much it means to him right now.
But he's got to run this time. Can he do the slide job on him in 3?
Well, I think Gordon saw that Tony was bound and determined to get the lead right now and get that bonus point. He wasn't going to put either one of them in a bad position. Tony's going to get this.
Carl got a good view of that, too, to see that determination.
And the one thing Carl Edwards knows, that if Tony Stewart wins this race, then he's going to win the championship.
Check it out. With that pass on Jeff Gordon. As they run, Tony Stewart goes to the championship lead. He was 40th earlier in this race.
You wouldn't have known it by listening to him, though, because he was still confident while he was in the back of the pack making those passes that he could get up here and do what he's doing right now.
I'm still not sure that Carl Edwards is too concerned even right at this moment. I mean, he certainly...
Most wins. Wouldn't it be something if it came down to that?
And we don't expect any less. I mean, these two drivers and team have shown us they're the very best. They were the ones ready for this 10-race chase. And we expected these two to battle it out right up front, just as they're doing.
After the racing we've seen between them the last couple of weeks, where they raced door to door-to-door for the win at Texas. They raced door-to-door for the lead a lot of the race at Phoenix. A lot of us wondered, could it come down to these two, one of them having to win the race to win the championship today? Jamie, it just might.
Exactly, and his team just cheerleading, telling him right now, you are better than both of those cars. Also, Bob Osborne reminding his driver, don't overdrive the car. Remember, they pushed the limit on the right front. He said, take care of your equipment, just be calm. Carl was very calm on the radio, came back and said, I'm just a little bit tight center.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Tony Stewart is doing right now. He is setting the pace, and now Carl Edwards can't sit there and take care of that right front or take care of that engine. He's got to run hard.
Trevor Bain.
Still coming inside. They're about 5 to the 47.
Got a piece of the wall again in that 21 car.
He got a good piece of it, too.
Was running 22nd at the time.
Yeah, it didn't hit it that hard. It looks like he may have a tire going down.
The question is, did he drop any debris? And the answer is, we're going to check.
Caution's out.
As the race reaches its midway point, the caution comes out for the 5th time for debris from the 21 car. Slowing the field with Stewart first and Edwards second.
Kevin Harvick had dropped back to 6th spot on those 2 tires, so I think maybe they saw that experiment wasn't exactly what they're going to need. This is going to give them the opportunity to put 4 tires on.
All right, so let me put my championship crew chief on the spot here, because we saw earlier in the race a few guys take just 2 tires when they hadn't run that many laps on tires.
Yeah, I still like 4 tires right here. I just, you know, this from what we've seen on the performance.
Laps to go. Green flag. Three wide again. It's Kyle Busch to the bottom side, and they're 3 wide for the lead up front. Truex through on the bottom of the 56 car. On the outside of the 39.
Here comes Tony underneath Carl Edwards. Tony got a great restart that time.
He made that inside work. He was able to stay in the throttle, and nobody held him back that time. He lost a couple of spots last time he tried that. And the gas hard here, though.
3 wide right in front of them. How about 4 wide? Stewart to the bottom.
Wow.
He's sure not being conservative.
That guy's on a mission.
He was 9th for the restart. 2 laps. He's 3rd. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's got a good car, but that's some drag.
Feeling some heat from Matt Kenseth in the 17. Edwards right behind Kenseth, running 5th. Oh, look at this. 3 wide there.
For that start.
Mark Martin in the 5, Brad Keselowski in the 2, Joey Logano in the 20, Denny Hamlin in the 11, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, etc.
Yeah, see Casey Kane, Jeff Burton back here. Kane made a lot of adjustments to this 4 car today, trying to get it better.
And I'll tell you, somebody right in the middle of that group, Kevin Harvick in that 29 car, we've seen twice now. This team went for just right side tires on the pit stop, and he's gotten shuffled back fairly quickly. You have to wonder what the driver's thinking about that from behind the wheel, Doc.
Well, he's complaining now the car's getting loose, but by our calculation, these tires, left side tires, have now been on the car 56 laps. And you might wonder, he may be a little bit warm, but he's hanging on and trying to make a pass or going by the 2 car, guys.
Yeah, next time I'm going to sit on pit road where they put those left sides on there myself.
I had Earnhardt do that to me one time at Bristol.
Carl Edwards up a spot around Matt Kenseth. Picks up 4th, going after Ryan Newman for 3rd.
Yeah, and Smoke on the move on the lead again. Comes Carl.
Newman, one of the guys that had changed just right side tires on the pit stop a little while ago. Up front, Truex, 56. Stewart for the lead in the 14.
He is on a mission.
Watch those hands.
You see Truex back in the throttle, but got a little sideways. He had thoughts of a crossover move there. Only having nothing of that.
You're a leader.
That was 6 laps. Stewart went from 9th to 3rd in 2 laps, and then took the other 4 to get to the lead.
Good there, baby cake. Let's go.
Bob Jeffries pumping him up a little bit. I'm not sure Tony needs any pumping up right now. But
He might need to be pumped back down a little bit.
Not sure he's probably calling him baby cakes either.
Did he call you that?
I don't ever remember that, no.
First and 3rd. Stewart Edwards. Truex in the lead. What a run from 9th up to the front for Stewart. How about this?
Look at this. 4 wide.
Trouble out. Back straightaway, Landon Castle and Trevor Bayne. More involved.
Michael Witt's involved.
Yellow number 7.
A couple of busted radiators.
Radiator's broke, Landon. Just jump out of it. Guys, let's hit the garage, see what we got.
Cole Witt had just gotten back on the lead lap with a free pass a little while ago. If you've been with us for the
Get
entire
tires
race,
on it, guys. Get tires on it here first.
you know Trevor Bayne has had a difficult day. He's been in the wall a couple of times. Cole Witt, the young man from California, running his first couple of NASCAR Sprint Cup races last week and this week. Looking to be in the Daytona 500 if somehow Red Bull Racing manages to continue under new ownership next year.
Oh, looks like Kenny Murray caught the left rear corner of Landon Castle.
Oh, yeah. Cole Witt, nowhere to go right there. Number 21. I think 21 must have run up.
Here we go. Look at Stewart.
To the high side this time, 4 wide. Not finished yet. Wow.
All the oil dry through where the accident was a minute ago. And up front, 3 wide for the lead. Truex up the center. Kenseth around the outside. And 4 wide behind him. Boy, we're seeing some aggressive racing tonight.
They're still 4 wide.
Hold your breath moments on these restarts. Carl Edwards now with a run down low under Jeff Burton. Stewart trying to follow.
And look at Stewart drive that car down in the corner hard on the throttle.
Well, just slid it off the corner in front of Dale Jr. He sees the 99 going. He can't let him get far away right now.
It's an amazing drive for Tony Stewart. I mean, this is incredible. Just got 2 tires the last time, and I know a lot of other cars did too, but man, he is really getting on with it.
Yeah, and Stewart has to know that watching Carl Edwards here, the only way he's going to win this championship, probably, unless Carl Edwards has some kind of problem throughout this, is to win the race, because Carl Edwards is not going to finish far enough back.
Replay. Did Stewart make contact with Edwards here? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Don't forget about me.
You can see a lot of that speedy drive being kicked up that was put down after that last caution. Made it a little difficult to see. I'm not saying that's why someone ran the back of him, but benefit of the doubt there.
To borrow a little language used by NASCAR officials on their race control channel. Message delivered, car 14. Stewart now dropping back off Edwards a little bit here after the shakeout on the green. I'm going to tell you right now, we get a couple of late race cautions and maybe even a green-white checker finish. The action we saw last night, the nationwide race that we've seen on these restarts tonight, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, we won't be able to crown a champion until the very last lap as they cross the line.
After that last lap, Cole Witt, you saw him out of his car walking around, examined and released from the Infield Medical Center. Chip Ford, 24 car, trying to get 7 from Ryan Newman in the 39.
I see somebody else, Casey Kane, you see getting in the picture. He's got his car a little bit better.
You see A.J. Allmendinger getting really loose back there. Denny Hamlin right on his butt.
Kane car, that's one of those we've seen feet hanging out from under on the pit lane tonight.
Yeah, they've been working on this thing. Looks like they've made it better.
Oh, boy. Thought he was going to go.
Yeah. See, Truex is now caught Kenseth, bringing Carl Edwards with him.
I don't know if it's camera angles, just the fact that it's at night or something. But one of the things I love about this racetrack is you watch Carl Edwards make the big drive into 3.
Still not going to get there, I don't think, unless Truex gives him a break, which he did.
Oh, nice. One of the things I love about this racetrack, you look right down into the cockpit as the cars make that arc off the corner, and you see that driver's hands at work and just how hard he's steering that car.
You can see right there, Carl Edwards, a little bit left and a little right to correct that, and just driving it off the corner, wheeling it sideways.
So Edwards to second, behind his teammate Matt Kenseth. How long till he has the lead? I say not long.
I think Matt won't fight him too hard for it. If he feels like Carl's quicker, he'll let him go. He might wait to make sure.
Just not enough. Yeah, I don't think it's only a degree or two of banking from that top to the bottom, right? But in these race cars at these speeds, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. You can see now, I think Matt's going to let Carl have that spot. Not that Carl wasn't going to take it anyway, maybe.
Yeah.
Edwards back out front where he spent the first part of this race. That's the lap leader most of the time.
Tony Stewart going to get third from Truex.
I had to wonder earlier, whenever Carl saw Tony out front, was he panicking a little bit, or did he realize that, okay, this is okay, I have the car to get back there? And I think that Carl showed us that he was okay with everything that was going on. Of course, Tony gets on those 2 tires right at this point in time.
And the laps are ticking away here until Carl
Lap still.
So Edwards is the leader. We'll see where Stewart is when he gets back up to speed as Edwards squeezes in front. Caution flag is out.
For the rain. Yellow's out for the rain and 3. Here's the leader. Here's the leader.
Wow. That is actually a break for Tony Stewart.
Yes, it is.
As long as we go back racing.
Oh, wow.
Carl Edwards is leading the championship in the Ford 400 win. Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski lead the field to the restart. Lead. 3
wide. You're bottom, still 3 wide.
Maybe 4 as the 99 comes down the back straightaway here.
Kyle Busch and Keselowski not giving in. Stewart by Busch. Here's Edwards trying to keep pace.
Oh, that's close. That's 4 fresh tires working right there.
Edwards racing the 2 for second and trying to keep up. Big wiggle there on the 99. He's got to drop back in. Last night, Edwards and Keselowski raced to the win of the Nationwide Series. Keselowski admitted he did some blocking in the last laps. He was racing Edwards for the win in that one.
They've had some history together, but lately they've been racing each other pretty clean. I would say that Keselowski's going to race him hard.
Check the points, top of the screen. Stewart by 1. Edwards has to pass Keselowski for second to tie, but Stewart has the tiebreaker. Edwards needs to pass Stewart on the racetrack to win the championship.
Yeah, that's just plain and simple. That's as simple as it gets. He knows what his job is right now. First, he's got to find a way around Brad Keselowski.
How old is Tony Stewart?
Yeah, and I'm sure that Kyle Busch probably knew it was coming, but still couldn't stop it.
I think you go all the way back to Chicago, and he made one of his comments under caution about these restarts and how crazy they were. He said, okay, I'm going to start doing it too. I'm going to be just as crazy as everybody else. Been working for him.
Very well. Here comes Edwards.
Got to run. Looking for second place. Look at the hands inside that 99 car. Fighting for control into the corner.
All clear. Go get the 14 now.
Edwards to second. But he's got to track down Stewart. Remember, the tiebreaker belongs to Tony. Keselowski's not done with this yet.
I don't think he's got anything for him. It's down to these two to settle it. Let it take off.
And in this situation, you see Tony Stewart, if he gets this win, I heard the fans say that they wanted winning to mean more. There's no win would ever mean more than this one right here for Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart's beating Carl Edwards up 10th or so, 10th and a half.
He's been rolling out of the throttle. You can see Carl gain a little bit of time. Really hard in the gas on exit, carrying a lot of speed down the straightaway.
Championship that I feel a lot of folks are going to remember for years is going between two of the best and being one of the best fights for the title. They're running first and second in the last race of the season. Winner is the champion. Whoever finishes second in the race loses out. Can't beat that.
I've never seen anything like it in my career, and I've done this a long time.
9 laps to go. Edwards trying to edge in. He can bring a little bit more off Stewart. He's got time. He's got to do better because he's got to catch it and then find a way around it.
You can hear he had to lift just a little bit right there, right at the exit of the corner. He was so close to the wall.
And that's a bad place to have to lift because it costs you all that momentum down the straightaway. Could be an advantage for Stewart, but you can see that gap is now down to less than a second.
Lap cars ahead of Stewart in the lane where he and Carl have been running, that outside lane of the racetrack.
Yeah, you have to think that they know what's going on here. They're going to give way, move to the inside.
The spotters are going to be talking to everybody on the roof. The other spotters are trying to get these other cars out of the way so these two can race it out.
Yeah, has Tony run this car too hard being out front? Are his tires going to give up some here?
Another couple of hundredths of a second off that lead as they come to the lap traffic.
We don't see these cars moving out of the way.
I don't quite understand the thinking here.
Andy Lally in the 71. 38 car of Travis Quapple. Stewart to their inside.
Tony's made his car work down there. I know that's not where he wanted to be right now. They're giving him plenty of room.
It's actually Mike Bliss in the 71. And he's racing for something too. They're trying to get in the top 35 in points. I understand that, but you got to give these guys more room.
Now Carl has to deal with the traffic.
One thing that can do is you have to change what you've been doing. It can upset your rhythm just a little bit. Now, it didn't take long. It was basically just one and a half corners. Then Tony can get that rhythm back and pull back away. Now Carl's got him running side by side. This is the worst possible position.
Yeah, that might be what kills any chance he has to get up there.
Yeah, that had to break some momentum, but you can see he's still within a second.
Now the gap growing again.
You know, Carl, he could just get to the rear bump.
5 laps left, 5.
And try to force something here.
Well,
mistake by Tony Stewart at this point in time. He's driven this thing on the edge this entire day.
I'm watching the Carl's rotors are glowing red. He's been working every pedal in that car. In the corner last lap, you could see the left front rotor was glowing. See it there.
Oh, yeah. This isn't a place that you normally use a lot of brake, but Carl Edwards doing everything he possibly can to bring Tony Stewart down.
Stewart adding to his lead, but more lap traffic ahead. That's that flag with the yellow stripe, signaling the leaders coming up behind you. A warning flag for the driver, not a mandatory flag, a warning flag. Dave Blaney gives way. So far, the late yellow has not come.
One driver is hoping it doesn't, and another one hopes it gets that opportunity.
You see the flag now, really waving that flag at these other competitors. So let these two race it out.
Montoya, Jeff O'Reilly yielding to the race leader. And Edwards running out of time.
I tell you, this has been one incredible drive in this chase by Tony Stewart. On his way to a 5th win out of 10 races. And that was only good enough to tie in points as it sits right now.
That's
With
just
those
how
5
good
wins.
Edwards has been.
Yes.
2 laps to go, 2.
3 miles left to go. Tony Stewart seeking his 3rd championship. Rallying back tonight from as far as 40th position. Kind of had the what me worry attitude earlier in the race.
Yeah, what an incredible job by the crew to repair that, Andy. That's not an easy place to make a change and fix a repair.
Yeah, they've overcome a lot tonight. On pit road, they had a mistake, or actually a problem with their pit socket. They had a hole in the grill. Tony Stewart
White flag here, white flag. Bring it home.
Final lap. Stewart and Edwards, 1st and 2nd. Winner takes the championship.
It's just the most incredible run I've ever seen out of a race car driver, what Tony Stewart has done in this case and tonight.
Yeah, I think it's the best driving I've ever seen, and Carl Edwards did an incredible job too, but this is the man right here, Tony Stewart.
2002, he was the champion. 2005, he was the champion, those driving for someone else. This time, he's an older driver, and he's become a 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. Tony Stewart wins it.
So we got it? We got it. We got the tiebreaker, baby. Awesome job. Derek. You guys are all.
It ended up they had to win the race to win the title. Tony Stewart did just that.
In this sport a long time, that was the most incredible championship run I think I've ever seen.
What a turnaround in the season. He didn't win a race in the regular season and came into this chase and won 5 races, won half of the races in the chase.
Said in August, his team would just be taking up space in the championship. They weren't running well enough to contend for the title. And when it started 10 weeks ago, they won the first 2. They won 5 of 10.
Okay, Tony Stewart being a great competitor right there.
everything that he had there at the end. And the entire chase, never finishing worse than 11th in the race for 10 races.
A tie on points. The tiebreaker decides the championship. The tiebreaker is most wins.
Fans wanted it to be about wins. Tony Stewart went out and gave them exactly what they were looking for. Just an incredible run.
Did I make it exciting enough?
You made it exciting enough for us, Vince.
A tearful Darian Grubb holding his son Gavin here, celebrating the victory. Darian, you told me earlier today that nothing has changed in your team. You've just gotten the brakes to go your way in the chase. Tonight, you made your brakes. You repaired the car. You fought back from different challenges. You gambled on fuel. How did you guys do it tonight?
We just fought. This entire Office Depot Mobil 1 team is incredible. We just didn't give up. We kept fighting. We went out and earned this championship and showed we're true champions.
Darian, you've been through a lot of adversity. What's this championship mean to you?
It means the world, but my family means a lot more to have him here with me.
Congratulations.
Darian Grubb from Floyd, Virginia. Came to be known to most of us when Chad Knaus was suspended during the Daytona Speed Weeks a few years ago. Darian, the team engineer, was Jimmy Johnson's fill-in crew chief at the time, and they won the Daytona 500.
Actually won a couple. He proved his mettle in that backup role. And boy, tonight, he really shined. Took some huge gambles, too. I mean, that fuel mileage gamble was big, and it really, ended up paying off for him.
It was risky.
It was very risky, but actually it's what got him the track position.
And for Carl Edwards, he led the most laps tonight. He came up one spot short and loses the championship on a tiebreaker. Jamie?
I imagine there's a lot of people around this country who agree with Dale Jarrett that was one of the most exciting championship races we've ever seen. What's going through your mind right now is all I can ask you after that effort.
Let me thank my sponsors first. Aflac, Ford, Kellogg's, Subway, Scott, Sprint, all the fans. But this night is about Tony Stewart. Those guys rose to the occasion. They beat us fair and square. That is all I had at the end. My guys did a really good job. I mean, we came here, we sat on the pole, we led the most laps, and Tony still managed, him and Darian to do a good job with their strategy, come out in front of us, and that's it. That's all I got at the end. That's as hard as I can drive. So I told my wife, if I can't win this thing, I'm going to be the best loser NASCAR's ever had. So I'm going to try really hard to keep my head up and know that we'll just go next year. We're going to be just as hard to beat next year, just as hard the year after that. But I just hope everybody's proud of the way we performed and our effort. I appreciate everyone's support, all the folks that helped me get to this position. And I wish so bad we had that trophy, but it just wasn't meant to be tonight.
Carl, you've had to drive that hard multiple times in your career, but for 40 laps, looking at the target ahead of you. What was that like from the cockpit?
I mean, it was good because I could see what Tony was doing, and I mean, I tried all sorts of stuff, and I mean, that's as hard as I can drive that race car, and that's it. So, I said before this thing started, I'm going to give my best performance, and I'm going to be happy with that. I'm not quite happy with it, but this is what we got. We'll make the most of it, and I can tell you one thing: if we're in this position again next year, those guys better watch out, because that was a lot of work to stay calm and to stay focused and perform the best we can. I learned a ton. And
the patience. Great job. Valiant effort by Carl Edwards. Brings it home second in the points.
Reacting to Carl Edwards' thoughts, a valiant effort, but he has to be heartbroken.
Yeah, and it'll hit even more tomorrow and in weeks to come. But he's, just as he said, he did everything he possibly could. He just, unfortunately, ran into a buzzsaw with Tony Stewart and this race team and winning 5 races. Who thought it was going to happen?
Tony Stewart provides us our Goodyear winning moment. 5 wins in the 10 races in this chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. The tiebreaker was wins on the season, and that was the difference between Stewart and Edwards after these 10 races.
If that's not an emphasis on winning, I don't know what is.
Exactly right. Particularly over the last 3 weeks, these two raced for the lead, raced for the win in these races. Just tremendous.
Neither one of them ever finishing worse than 3rd in these last 3 weeks.
It's the first time in the history of the sport we've had a tie for the championship in points.
Tony Stewart tonight, Carl Edwards talking about giving it all he had. Tony Stewart passed 76 cars in this race tonight.
He certainly earned it, didn't he?
Every time he got to the front, he got shuffled to the back.
That's a true champion right there.
Well, it's over tonight here at Homestead Miami Speedway, and truly a classic championship fight resulted in a truly classic championship finale where you had to win the race to win the title. Tony Stewart did it. Making his way to a familiar sight along the front stretch of this racetrack where twice before he celebrated winning a championship. Eddie Jarvis, Tony's longtime business manager.
They have a great relationship. It was the two of them that put this deal, made it happen, put it together, really took a chance in moving away from Joe Gibbs Racing to go start and make this race team work.
And you see the scene in Victory Lane presented by Napa as the liquids begin to fly. And what a scene it is in the middle of that whole championship crowd.
Tony Stewart just being the guy that has the best average finish anybody's ever had in the chase, 4.9. He's being Carl Edwards.
It's Ryan Newman, Tony's teammate and employee, if you will, at Stewart Haas Racing. And not to forget Gene Haas, who, having fielded the NASCAR Sprint Cup team for several years, needed something to take it to the next level. He offered Tony Stewart a 50% partnership on the team.
Got a good deal.
They're champions.
Yeah. Rick Hendrick had a lot to do with making all of this happen, getting the two parties together, helping make everything work, assuring Tony that he would get a tremendous amount of support with this race team from Hendrick Motorsports.
Look at that scene. So much fun. You heard these fans roar their approval. Everybody waiting while Tony Stewart gathers his thoughts and gets ready to go. And the most disappointed, the people who came up just short, talking it over. Bob Osborne and Carl Edwards.
Sometimes you just get beat, and that's all that these guys can say. We gave it everything. Carl said he gave it everything. He has a driver. They had a great race car. The engine performed flawlessly. Just sometimes somebody else is a little bit better.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2011 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion, Tony Stewart. Wow, what a performance tonight. And what better way, Tony, for the closest chase in NASCAR Sprint Cup history to finish. Tony, Two of NASCAR's heavyweights. Tony Gibson coming over. Two of NASCAR's heavyweights going toe-to-toe, head-to-head, the final laps, and you won it in the championship. What's the emotion right now?
Oh, God, thank the Lord for this one, buddy. Man, I'm telling you, it's been a tough summer and a tough fall for us, and you got to believe in something. And the man upstairs, and he held this rain off just long enough for us to get this job done. So this is for Sprint and all these fans up here that stuck it out all weekend here in Homestead. And, oh, my God. I don't care how long it rains. I'm going to be up all night. This is, oh, my God. Are you kidding me? For Office Depot, for Mobile One, Chevrolet, U.S. Army, Tornadoes, Quicken Loans, GoDaddy, Ritz, Oreos, Coca-Cola, just everybody that's a part of the Stewart Haas program. Mac Tools, we couldn't do it without you guys. It's just unbelievable. I mean, we said all week we just go out and win the race. We didn't have to worry about what he did, and that's what we did. And just if this doesn't go down as one of the greatest championship battles in history, I don't know what will.
Let's talk about tonight. In the first 100 laps, Tony, you had to go from back to front twice. 3 and 4 wide passes on the restarts as Jeff Gordon comes up to congratulate him. And then the gamble on fuel. How concerned were you that maybe there were just too many obstacles to overcome after all you were having to battle tonight?
This team, there's one thing I learned when Gene Haas and Joe Custer gave us this opportunity, and our good buddy Rick Hendrick, and I couldn't do it without you, Bud, and everybody at Hendrick Engines and Chassis, that there's no quit here. And Darren Grubb, that man up there, and everybody on this team has just dug deep and never given up. And this is an awesome night. Eddie Jarvis, Brett Food, everybody at Stewart Haas Racing. I've got the best team in the business, and it's just awesome. I'm so grateful to be able to do this for Gene Haas, because this man's invested a lot in this sport, and for him to have the faith in me to do this, just it takes a lot to do what he's done, and glad I can get this done for him.
Talk about people that meant a lot to the sport. That number 14 belonged to your hero and friend A.J. Foyt. He said you can take the number but drive it with the tenacity of a Texan. Tonight, you won a championship the way he won it, up on that wheel, refusing to lose. What does it mean to you to take this number, his number, back to a championship stage?
I guarantee I'll probably talk to him tonight, and he's still going to tell me what I did wrong today, but I'm so proud. I mean, AJ's always been one of my heroes, and he's been very supportive of this when we did this. And when I asked him if it would be all right if I took his number, he was the one that gave me his blessing, and that meant the world to me.
Carl Edwards, a class individual. What a battle! What a battle those final. What's going through your mind when you're seeing Carl back there, knowing that he's just going to do everything he can, and what a great effort he's had all year long to try to catch you, and you had to win the race to win the championship.
Those guys have done an awesome job all year, and my buddy Ricky Stenhouse won the nationwide championship yesterday, and Jack got the owner's championship, so I didn't feel bad taking this one away from him tonight. But he's a great competitor, he's a great guy, and we've been giving him a rough time this week, but it was all in an effort to do what we did tonight here, and that's to win this championship. But it shows how classy a guy he is. He was the first one to me over there, and he just said, promise me one thing, that you'll enjoy this. And he goes, I hope it's you and I in this position again next year. So it just shows how much class he's got. He's a great guy.
Both of you showing so much class. And Tony, guess what? In just a moment, we're going to climb up on that stage. You're going to get a big trophy and even a bigger check as NASCAR's newest Sprint Cup champion. Alan?
And they won't mind the raindrops one bit. Tony Stewart, 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion after winning the season's final race. The trophy presentation is next.